Hey friends, it is Amanda here with Mettle Modern Design and Deep Sash Shelling coming to you live tonight on behalf of our friends at Essential Stencil. Now, ready? Okay, so I'm going to set these down and I'm going to show you a few of the simple surfaces we've got. Now this is already kind of painted white. This is an old house from Chalk Couture from back in the day, but you can find those house cutouts just about anywhere. I've also got, I've got down here. Now I kind of like the idea of adding an anchor to this house, and I kind of want to see what this beautiful anchor looks like. So we're going to at least add the anchor to one side of this stand-up house. It stands up. I don't know if I want my anchor straight up and down or kind of tilted to the side. I think tilted is maybe better. And we're going to use we're going to use the same color concept because we're building a collection. We're going to use the Waverly chalk paint in the color Ocean. We're just going to pull a little bit of that out, and we're going to offload. So we've got it lifted up. We're just going to make sure we've offloaded pretty well. Okay, we're just going to lightly use a circular motion here. Okay. Oh, and you can see I did just do that. So let me show you if that happens, how to fix it. So you'll see a little hazing right there at the bottom. That's where I went over the stencil. But we've got just this blue anchor. We're going to dry that up a little bit. Let me back up before we dry it up. It hit the floor. We're just going to grab a Lysol wipe. It's important to do this with something that doesn't have oils. I'm just going to wrap it around my fingertip. And I'm just going to wipe that away right there. Okay, I'm just going to dry this up a bit. Layer back down our secondary stencil, and we'll stencil on top of this. So let me position it. One of these, and we're just going to grab some white. I did mix in a little bit of dark titanium white last week. This should be fine with this week. Since it's on a white surface, I don't want to dull it out too much. And we'll just use a light swirling motion here. Make sure we've offloaded really well. Making sure it's nice and white over our piece here. And then we've just got a sweet anchored design that coordinates with the other designs we've already got. Okay. I think I want to, so you guys kind of get the idea. You can grab these partially finished pieces. So for this, I am going to pull out one of our patterns here. I get these at Michael's. You guys, they are far cheaper. They are far cheaper if you buy them in the bulk pack. I'm curious if I want to start with a white or if I want to start with a green. I think we're going to start with a green, and we're going to blend some blue into it tonight. I just grabbed a generous amount with my Harbor Freight stain sponge, and we're going to start here. And we're just going to bring this all over the whole piece here. Had I gotten that sticker off the back, we would have stained front and back right now. I'll go back and do the back later. I'll show you a nice coastal kind of blend. So this is botanical. We don't need to dry it right now. I'll probably end up spritzing it with some water in just a minute. We're also going to grab out Bay Blue. I do believe is what I have got right here. Bay Blue color, and we're going to come in at the bottom down here. We're going to add this in. These two colors, for whatever reason, blend so beautifully together. And so let me kind of show you how this looks. And so I think that's just so pretty, just as it is. Now we could add a little light by hitting it with a little white in the middle, but I almost feel like it's lovely as is. And why add the added layers if we don't really need them? So we just kind of lightly blended that back and forth until we got this beautiful coastal looking design. Now from here, you can add any of these stencils. They would all look good on this. But I wanted to make sure I showed you these small turtles because these are one of my favorites and they've been out of stock for a long time. They're back in stock as part of a 6-pack of 6-inch stencils. So we're going to start with this, and we're going to kind of go off this direction. I will tape it because I am notorious for moving my stencil with sticky hands because my hands are always sticky with paint or stain. I'm going to pull back over our white, and I'm going to grab another stencil brush. Okay. If I had to choose one set of stencil brushes, I would grab these. These are my favorite. So I'm just going to put this on with white. If we want to add color later, we can. White's always a great base. It acts as a resist. If you want to do something different than white, you certainly can. Okay. Hinge that back so you can see. They're kind of up there just hanging out together. It's these two here, and I'm going to use this turtle. So we'll stencil it on first here. And I'll be honest, I always love to pull it off the board a little instead of straight on. I feel like it's a little more natural looking. And so let me make sure I got them the same direction. Let's kind of put them here and angle them this way. So I'm going to back them off a little bit. Variation, and so kind of left it that way on purpose. Let me hinge it and show you kind of what we're working with right now. We're going to add more, but this is kind of what we've got going on. Now we can come back and we can add the pattern, or we can not add the pattern, and I'll see what you guys say so you can tell me what you think. I'm going to use the pattern only because I think it would be a good lesson to show you that you can use the pattern even with different stencils. So I'm going to do one more base turtle, I do believe. And we're going to just kind of turn this one this direction, let him kind of be scooching in this way. Okay. It's very heavy with turtles, and I think that the pattern will probably help it. So I'm going to line this up. This, we're just going to grab up a little blue. We're going to offload. And if we feel like we haven't offloaded enough, we'll find another spot and offload some more. Okay. And so we'll just come on and lightly add our blue. We can lay this pattern down again. We can just kind of lay the pattern over the piece. It's a different size, sure. And that doesn't matter as long as we have the pattern over it. And then we lay back down our original stencil, trying to line it up as best we can. That's right. It's very hard to line it up from here, but we're gonna try, see how it looks. Okay, it gave like a hazy appearance, but not bad, not bad. It brings in the essence. I think with this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay this back down first, and I'm just gonna lightly lay this over. Let's see. It's just kind of hazy. It kind of works. It ain't perfect, but it does work. But we did show you a really great way to add some beautiful blending and to bring in some additional designs. And so when you put this board with, you know, the anchor, so I can take this in and I can create a display, and I can have the board, I can have the anchor. They're going to be different designs, but they're going to be similar. And they're going to have a similar concept. And so it's going to go together as a collection. And that's how you start building a collection with just a couple of stencil sets. That's what I had for you gals tonight. I had a little more planned, but these old eyes are just kind of wanky. So, okay, you guys be blessed and take care. And I'll see you next week. Bye, friends.